Obviously, I'm still optimistic. The responses I've got thus far is it looks like there's appears to be not enough votes. Obviously, a lot of things can change. Having served in the legislature, I know that the only thing predictable is unpredictability of the legislature, and so we'll watch and see. But clearly, for the taxpayers, it's important that we, going into this next year, the remainder of the fiscal year we're in right now, on January 3rd and beyond, have all options available to us to balance the current fiscal challenges that the state faces that are exceeding potentially $150 million or more for the current fiscal year, as well as have the ability to make some long-term changes that could help us balance the $3.3 billion that the state of Wisconsin faces in terms of a deficit for the next biennial budget. And as I've said all along, it's my hope that we have as many options on the table as possible. That certainly means for us having the ability to come back and discuss future wage and benefit reforms in this current fiscal year, which will continue from January through the end of June 30th, 2011, and then in many cases be things potentially that could open the door for some long-term changes in the next biennial budget. Had the contracts been approved today or at some point in the future, obviously that does more to box us in, and that reduces the amount of options we have on the table. Certainly, if the shortfall as projected continues, the $150 million or more, that means that other things rise up higher on the list, whether it's layoffs or furloughs or even reductions in other essential state programs such as those funded by Medicaid and other related programs. Those are certainly tough choices, and we'd like to have as many options on the table as possible. In particular, when you look at options such as layoffs in this climate, really for me, one of the last options I want to have to consider is having any more people in this state not employed. And so it's a much preferable option to be able to consider wage and benefit reforms or other things that would balance the budget without having people laid off. And certainly I'm hopeful as this day continues, that's one of the options I have available to me as opposed to some of those other more difficult options. So with that, I guess that's just a quick reaction. The only other thing I just say, and I'll open up some questions, is let me be clear. I've said this before, but it's worth repeating. This is about wage and benefit reform and balancing the budget. I have the utmost respect for people who work in public service, in this case in state government. I respect state and state and local government workers, and think the vast majority of people in public service do a good job. And so this is not about whether or not we think people are doing a good job. It's ultimately about making sure we have every option on the table to avoid some of the tougher choices that I don't think anybody really wants now or in the future. So I just want to be clear. I think the vast majority of people who work in state and local government are doing a good job and are good people, and certainly respect that, but know that we've got to have every option on the table.